Hey everyone, we're going to be wrapping up the chapter of percentages from College Panda SAT Math. So, without further ado, let's dive straight into it. Question 13. Jane is playing a board game in which she must collect as many cards as possible. On her first turn, she loses 18% of her cards. On the second turn, she increases her card count by 36%. If her final card count after these two turns is n, which of the following represents her starting card count in terms of n? So in this question, we just want the expression. They don't want any working, so we will do this really fast if our concepts are crystal clear. Naturally, if she is losing 18% on her first turn, we will do 1 minus 0.18 because when you remove the percentage sign, we divide by 100. So we will do 1 minus 0.18, and then on her second turn, she is increasing by 36%, so we will do 1 plus 0.36. So we get 0.82 times 1.36, which happens to be option D. Moving on, question 14. Due to deforestation, researchers expect the deer population to decline by 6% every year. If the current deer population is 12,000, what is the approximate expected population size 10 years from now? So in this, we will put in our regular compound interest formula. Again, very similar. We've been given the original population size, which is 12,000. We have been given the rate of decline. Since it is decline, we will minus the rate, and we have been given the time in years. So we just plug that all into the formula. We already know 12,000 times 0.94 raised to the power 10, which comes out to be 6,463.4, roughly 6,460, which is option B. Great. Now, question 15. A small clothing store sells 3 different types of accessories. 20% are scarves, 60% are ties, and the other 40 are accessories are belts. If half of the ties are replaced with scarves, how many scarves will the store have? So let's see what we know here. We know that 20% and 60% are scarves and ties, so the remaining would be 20%, and we know that those are belts, the third type. So let's make a little table. Scarves are 20%, ties are 60%, and belts are 20%. We've been told that belts are 40 in number, so we can write 40 over here. And since we know that belts and scarves are the equal percentages, even scarves, we will have 40 of them. And then we could do cross ratio and get the amount of ties we have, or we could simply just multiply by 3 and do 40 times 3 and get 120 as our ties. Now, the second part of the question says, if half of the ties are replaced with scarves, how many scarves will the store have? So we have 120 ties. Half of that would be 60. So if we are replacing half the ties with scarves, our ties go down to 60 and our scarves will increase to 100. 40 plus 60 and we get 100 scarves. Let's add another row. Now we have 40 plus 60, 100 scarves, 60 ties, and the belts remain the same, 40. And if we total up these two columns, we are still getting the same 200. So the question asked how many scarves the store has, and we have told them that scarves bump up to 100. Let's take a look at question 16 now. Omar currently holds a government bond that has a market value of $900. Each year, the market value of the bond is expected to be 20% higher than its market value the year before. Classic compound interest question. If the expression 900 times 1 plus p, where p is a constant, represents the expected market value of the bond after 3 years, what is the value of p? So they have given us their expression, but notice there is no power here for time. So let's create our own expression. We know that the formula for compound interest is this. We have been given our rate, we have been given our original price, so let's plug that all in and we get this. 1 plus 0.2 for 20%. So we'll get 1.2 raised to the power 3, which comes out to be 1.728. Now we have no power and they have no power, so we can compare our expressions. So if we compare the expressions, 900 is the same, so 1 plus p can be said to equal 1.728 simply by comparing them, okay? and through that we can find P. Simple enough. Again, if there are any questions you guys have, you can always leave them down in the comments and I will definitely get back to you. Let's see question 17 now. Sim spent X dollars on groceries in 2015. She spent 34% more on groceries in 2016 than in 2015. And she spent 145% more on groceries in 2017 than in 2016. Which of the following expressions represents the amount in dollars Sim spent on groceries in 2017? So let's take a look at this. Of course, we will not be minusing in any of these because she keeps increasing the amount she is spending. So from 2015 to 2016, that would be 100 plus 34. We have 134% of X dollars. So that is 1.34x, which is in option C and option D. So you can cross out A and B. Then from 2016 to 2017, she has 145% increase. So 145% added to the original 100% gives us 245% of X. So that is 2.45. That is not in D, that is in C, making C our correct option. Very easy to trick yourself, but just remember your basics, your rules. 145% more, 34% more. That means we will add to 100%, okay? So please don't get confused. Question 18. In 2016, County A and County B collected the same amount of taxes. In 2017, the amount of taxes collected by County A decreased by 25%, and the amount of taxes collected by County B increased by 20%. If County A collected $60 million of taxes in 2017, what was the amount of taxes in millions of dollars County B collected in 2017? Now let's see. In 2016, they collected the same amount, right? So we can call that amount X. Now, let's make another table again. If in 2016, they are collecting the same amount, they both have 100%. In 2017, A is decreasing by 25%, so we are now down to 75%. And B is increasing by 20%, so we are bumped up to 120%. Now we have been told the amount in millions of dollars for A, $60 million. So we can apply a simple cross ratio and figure out the total, or like the original amount collected in 2016. So if 75% is $60 million, then one whole would be X million dollars, and we can work that out. 0.75x equals 60. X is equal to 60 divided by 0.75. Using a calculator, we get $80 million. So that is one whole. That is the original spent, collected in 2016. And that is also the same for B. So we can set up another cross ratio now. If one whole is $80 million, then 120%, 1.2 would be X. And we work that out to be 96, which is option D. If there's any confusion at all, you guys can always let me know in the comments, and I will make sure that you guys are totally clear on your concepts, because questions like these you should not be getting wrong. Let's check out the next page. Question 19. Daniel has $1,000 in a checking account and $3,000 in a savings account. The checking account earns him 1% interest compounded annually. So we're not dealing with simple interest, we've got compound interest. The savings account earns him 6% interest compounded annually. Assuming he leaves both these accounts alone, which of the following represents how much more interest Daniel will have earned from the savings account than from the checking account after 5 years? So in this we have the original amounts for both the accounts, we have the rates for both the accounts, and we have the time, which is the same for both the accounts. So let's work it out. For the checking account, we have 1,000 times 1.01 raised to the power of 5, because our rate is 1% and our original amount is 1,000. And for, we don't need to work this out, by the way. Please don't waste your time. Please read the question fully and see if they're asking. You can clearly see the options are expressions. You don't need to do any working. Please don't waste your time. Now, for the savings account, our original is $3,000, our rate is 6%, and it's also raised to the power of 5. So, what expression would give you what the question is asking? What is it asking? Look again carefully. It's asking how much more interest will Daniel earn. So, from these formulas, we will get the total earnings, the total amount of money in both his accounts after 5 years. But the question is asking only about interest. So for interest, we'll be given the total earnings and we have the original amounts. So we have interest plus original, the answers to these. So for that, we would have to minus the originals from these expressions. So these are automatically disqualified. And even option D, because it's not raised to the power of 5, it's being multiplied. So even if someone didn't know, they could easily get this right. Actually, it would be between A and C, but our option is, the correct answer is C, because we do have to subtract the original amounts because they are only asking about the comparison and interest. I hope that's clear. Moving on to question 20, our last question of this exercise. The expression above gives the population of leopards after 5 years, during which an initial population of P leopards grew by R% each year. So this expression is giving the population after 5 years. Which of the following expressions gives the percent increase in the leopard population over these 5 years? So these guys want the percent increase. What are we going to do? The percent increase, if we're only looking at increase, we will do the population, the total population after 5 years minus the original population P, if we want just the increase in the 5 years. So if we factor P out, we will get this. And then the formula for percentage increase, as I'm sure all of you know, is actual increase over initial population. So this is our actual increase and our initial population is P. So if you put that all together, the P's cancel out and you times it by 100 to get percentage increase. And the correct answer would be option C here. Because I'm sure you guys were wondering, why is there no P? That's because in the percentage increase formula, the P's get cancelled. So I hope this exercise was clear for you. And what would really be beneficial next time is that you guys attempt the exercise yourself and then come and look at the video with me. So it's also faster for you. If you already know something, you can skip over it, saves you some time, and would overall just be more beneficial. Hope you enjoyed the video.